Hi guys, welcome to Football Brownie. Hope you're well, keeping safe, keeping each other safe, and spreading the love during this pandemic, because we all need a little bit of loving. Now before I go any further, please like, share, most importantly subscribe to the channel. Remember, subscription is free, so if you haven't done it yet, then hit that subscribe button right now, and don't forget the notification bell. Okay, as a non-West Ham fan, I'm really finding it really interesting that, that the tactics of their owners, Gold and Sullivan, are now, with the help of Simon Jordan, of course, are now becoming to be unravelled. You know, people are finding out exactly how these shysters, in my opinion, operate. Now today, the debate on TalkSport is still going on whether or not these bids were actual bids and so on and so forth. So I found it absolutely fascinating that Simon Jordan was having a real interesting debate with Simon, the West Ham fan, over the current topic. Take it away, the two Simons, and what do you guys think? Please comment below.
Of this show, and we need to hear from you. Now, on this West Ham situation, it would be remiss of us if we didn't include your opinion on this. We heard from David Moyes earlier on, and David Moyes spoke publicly for the first time, backing the club's January transfer window ambitions and the board. In fact, Moyes says the club made 3 record transfer bids in the window, but they didn't come off. And so the board, for that matter, should face no criticism for that. But nonetheless, West Ham fans, many of them remain unhappy that no deals were done and sceptical, Simon, of the ownership. And you still think, Simon, there's an element of they were making bids for players they knew they weren't going to get.
I think there's an element of a bit flash for cash, as I described it, which is that it looks good on paper, but the execution side of it, if the argument is there were too many cooks in the mix and too many agents in the middle of it, and that's what the allegations are being made to stop it from doing, take them out of the mix then. Who's put all the agents in there?
Right.
If you've put the agents in there and the agents are breaking the deal, then take them out.
Okay, if a deal can be done, then do it. Simon, big West Ham fan, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi, good to have you on. Simon, where's your head with all this?
If possible, I'd like to make 2 points. First point being, there's a player that we've tracked, whatever that means. I've never understood what tracked means, for 18 months. From Marseille, Coletta Carr. We've needed a left-sided centre-back since Bonner was injured. We tracked this bloke for 18 months. Marseille were willing to sell. They'd set the number, 15 million euros, and we wanted to take him on loan with no option. Marseille obviously need the money, they're completely skinned, but we didn't buy it. But apparently we've got £50 million for Calvin Phillips, which no West Ham supporter alive believes was ever true. So we couldn't pay for Coletta Carr, but we could pay for Calvin Phillips, which is a player at this very moment we don't need. We probably will if Declan leaves. So that's why no one believes it, because money wasn't made available for a player that was available. For a player that's not available, we found the money. Shock horror. The second point, if I can make, is in the next 18 months, we've got 22 senior professionals. 14 of those are either out of contract, going back to their clubs in the next 18 months. We have 14 players leaving the club in the next 18 months, and we've got 22 senior professionals. Please tell me where the forward thinking and the vision is in that. And
okay, what can you say to Simon on that, Simon?
Well, you have to factor David Moyes into the equation. I mean, Palace had a similar situation last year, didn't they? Where and you'll say, well, I don't care about Palace, we're West Ham, we're a bigger club. But by the same token, Crystal Palace will have had the same challenges.
I didn't say that. I didn't say West Ham are bigger than Palace or anything.
No, but I'm paraphrasing what you might say. If you're not going to say it, then fine. Palace are a bigger club than West Ham. I'll say that for you, right? But the bottom line is that the landscape. You're forecasting doom. You're assuming that the object of the aim. You just had a guy put 150 million quid into West Ham one way or t'other to buy 20%. You're assuming that it's Sullivan and Gold and Brady and the new investor are going to sit there and allow a disintegration of the opportunity. I'm with you that I think these bids aren't real and that they're bids to make them look better. I'm with you in terms of some of the thinking that goes with these owners because they haven't taken you on a journey which was the right journey to take you on, moving from one stadium to the other. But I depart from you when you start talking about the idea that they're going to let the background to the playing squad disintegrate and that David Moyes is somehow... I'm not saying you said this, by the way, Simon, but some people are saying it. David Moyes is a puppet. David Moyes can leave West Ham and get a job comparable to West Ham if the conditions at West Ham aren't good enough. He seems to be happy. So why would you be unhappy if the manager that's leading you to success is happy?
Because I can see that March 2023, which is the day when they will walk away from the club, basically for the last 3 years, they've asset stripped the whole place. You can see it with your own eyes. You've only got to look back at the salaries for the squad 3 years ago and the salary for the squad.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
now.
of people are making this March 2023 situation because the tax efficiency of their ability to be able to sell at that particular time. And you may be right. You may be right. But there is an element of the football club has needed to be funded at times. And I know you'll say, well, they put them in as loans. Right? And that's great if someone has the ability to repay those loans. So someone's had to fund the gap between what they've been able to generate, the revenue in the club, and what the club has had to take on as far as obligations are concerned. So there is a difference between the argument that they're asset stripping and the reality of what's really going on. I'm not in their camp. I think most people know that I'm not the hugest admirer. But I think we've also got to be equitable in our observations. You guys sometimes take your sentiment of distaste and overlay fact.
Can I ask you one question then? And I think I know your answer, but I'll wait for it.
On you go, Simon.
If we were 17th this January, do you think that we would have entered the transfer market with more gusto than we did because we're 5th?
Well, that's a difficult one to answer, isn't it? Because
it's not, because it's happened before. Every time we're 17th, we go out and scattergun the market and bring in 3 or 4 players. Every single time we're staring relegation in the face of the January, we go out.
But Simon, if I can jump in, if you were 17, you'd be shopping in a different market.
Exactly.
And that's what Moyes just said. Simon, we appreciate the call. We're going to swap you for Mike. Mike's another West Ham fan. Mike, good morning.